Boom, good morning, everyone. Now, it's been a while, but I am compelled to go on a live today. And the reason why is that, well, congratulations, the peso to dollar, the dollar to peso ratio is now 54. And that's one heck of a sign for inflation. Now, how many of you have noticed, or have you noticed that prices went up drastically? Not just gasoline, by the way, not just the price of gas, but also the price of food, the price of certain goods has also gone up drastically. Now, well, and if you're in the Philippines, even worse because we have overflowing debt, and our credit score as a good credit country is actually under threat, right? So most likely the foreign aid that we experienced during the first 2 years of um, the pandemic is probably not going to be as easy as the next few months or years. It's not going to be as easy to our economy as it was during the pandemic time. And mind you, a lot of businesses has actually closed, right? A lot of people downsized during these times. Now, and there's just so much uncertainty in the future, right? Now, I just want to share three key things or three key strategies that Filipinos can do to overcome inflation. Now, the number one and the very first that I would like you guys to consider is this. Okay, so go local. Okay, what do I mean by this? So a lot of us, or I just recently found out. I mean, How many of you have just realized that majority of the agricultural products that we consume, sometimes even in the supermarket, is actually imported from the outside. Okay, so of course this has a lot of what's the word I'm looking for? This has a lot of implications, right? So the price of rice might go up because for some reason, despite being an agricultural country, we are importing rice, right? We're also importing um, various other vegetables and all of that stuff, right? So going local will actually help solve that. And here's the fun part: you actually also help farmers, local farmers, make a living despite the pandemic. Now, unfortunately, for some of us, and it's way cheaper if you buy things out of town, out of the city than you do within the city. It's way cheaper. But unfortunately for us, um, it also takes gas, right? Just to travel and get out there. Now, I also don't mean by going local. What I also mean here is not just in terms of agricultural products and rice for food. Okay. Now, here's what I like about Panay. Panay is it's a very self-sustaining um, province. If I stand correctly, I apologize, but Panay is very self-sustaining. So um, we can trade from within ourselves and all that. Now, another thing I wanna point out is that going local does not just mean food products. Going local also means supporting your local businesses. Okay, so long as we support each other locally with um, by buying stuff from within our communities, right? It's gonna increase the buying power of of our community and cities. Now, another thing or another strategy that you can do, right, is to invest in self-sustaining tech, right? It's to invest in self-sustaining technology, and I mean this not in a what's the word I'm looking for. Pero grabe na, it's easier said than done because I mean the people who can invest in self-sustaining tech are usually people with the buying power for it. Now, but what I mean here is in terms of self-sustaining technology, I would invite you guys to do this more on a business scale. Okay, the reason why we go we do this on a business scale is so that income comes in and not just you're not just saving on opportunity cost. For example, all right, um, a good example would be solar panels. Now you can invest a lot in solar so that you save more energy, but at the end of the day, the only thing you save by investing in solar is your electricity bill. And also, that's my dog. Uh, he's trying to get out, right? So that's the only thing you save. You just save the you just save from your electric bill. Now that's and judging by the price of what's the word I'm looking for, judging by the price of oil right now. At the same time, I'm not even sure about how self-sustainable or how sustainable coal is going to be. Um, but in terms of energy, I am expecting the cost of electricity to actually go up. Right? I'm expecting the cost of energy of electricity to go up. Um, right now, we've actually enjoyed. Um, I think we in Iloilo we're enjoying a 6 peso per kilowatt hour energy um, cost for electricity, but I'm seeing it go up. Now you save a lot by investing there, but it's not bringing in money. It's not bringing in money. Hold on, I'll just get my dog out. It's not increasing your cash flow. That's the problem. Now, what could you invest in that could be self-sustaining? Now, this is very subjective in a lot of ways. For me, self-sustaining means it pays for itself. It's it it could more or less be friendly to the environment and more and this is an absolute. It should bring in money or increase your cash flow, right? So in terms of categories, one thing I would invest in terms of self-sustaining tech, right? Despite the fact that what's the word I'm looking for, that recessions might come, um, people downsize and all of that, there will always be a select group of people who would be willing to pay for luxury. So I would I would if I'm good at cleaning, I would invest in a very powerful vacuum cleaner, right? And I freaking what's what I'm looking for, charge people thousands of pesos just to clean for that. Now, that's one thing. Another thing is if you have a business, you need to start and create your own sales funnel. Now, what is a sales funnel? A funnel does not necessarily, contrary to what most people believe. If you've never heard of funnels before, that's good, right? So most people think a funnel is related to a website. Now, what are funnels exactly? Funnels are just a way for you to onboard people into buying your stuff and buying from your business and stuff. Okay. Now, a funnel takes people who don't know you, strangers, strange, and people who don't know you to people who know you and people who basically love you, right? And when I say love, these are people who buy from you. Yeah. So if you have a funnel for your business, then more or less there will always be people willing to buy, and you will be providing value to these people. And basically, um, in turn help your business thrive, right? Now, the last strategy is basically increasing your, okay, and the last strategy is basically increasing your cash flow, right? So what do I mean by this? What does increasing your cash flow mean? Okay, I've tackled a bit of this before, but just because you invested in something and it looks like an asset on paper does not mean it's an asset. Okay, it does not mean you've invested in something worthwhile. Kasi if, especially now, right, you spend on something that doesn't bring money into your life, okay, more money into your life, you are basically creating liabilities. For example, if you start buying a house now, maybe now is not the best time, right? Or maybe if you buy a car right now, well, they could be subjective. You might need a car for no, I don't think people need cars right now with the price of gas. Maybe a bike, you know, maybe get a bike or whatever your needs are, right? Point is, if you buy a car, not only does your cash flow go down, right, you also increase your risk. Now, how do you increase your cash flow? Okay, so let's just talk about that a bit. So, for example, you can increase your cash flow by creating a business. And I'll just use the infamous model, right? You can start and create your own business by increasing your cash flow, right? And again, I'm not promoting any industry or company. I'm just using the model for that. All right. So what else can you do? Okay, I'll just use black so it's simple. You can start investing or learning how to invest in the stock market, which is probably looks more like this right now. Right? It's actually going down rather than going up, which is interesting. Okay, you can start a business. You can learn how to invest in stocks or crypto, or this is the most important part, right? You can invest, you can start a business, you can start investing, but what do you? The question is, right? How prepared are you for that? And now more than ever, people should actually start investing in their mind more than anything else first. Okay, people should start investing in their mind more than anything else. Okay, so what do I mean by that? Well, when you invest in your mind, okay, when you invest in your mind, what happens is there's what you call little voices in your head. Okay, so these voices in your head are um, or your little voice is that voice in your head that doesn't serve you anymore. So it's there to protect you. For example, don't do this, don't take risks, you're not good enough. What's gonna your work is only this much, etc., etc. What's gonna happen if you get hurt, etc., etc. Okay, so all of us have this thing called the little voice, and it holds us back from a lot of things. For example, it's a recession, don't start a business. It's because it's more or less gonna fail. Okay. Now, what personal development does is that it converts the little voice and turns it into what we call the immense voice. Okay. And the immense voice is a lot of people can call it different things, right? Some people call it intuition, some call it their higher self, and some even call it God. capital God, right? And it's your guiding force, and it allows you to hear the immense voice, because the little voice, well, the little voice, despite having that name, is very loud, right? You're not good enough. You don't deserve money. You'll just squander it. You don't deserve love, etc. But the immense voice is actually very silent. Right? You are at the exact and perfect place to make lasting and impactful change. You deserve money because I know that with enough resources, you are gonna be out there doing good in the world, right? So that's an example of the immense voice. So the immense voice usually whispers while the little voice screams. And personal development is gonna basically push you into recognizing which voice is which. So I'll end it with here. Okay, this and this is important. Again, I can't stress this enough. You can go ahead and apply all three strategies that I mentioned today, right? Going local, be self-sustaining, increase your cash flow. But if your inner voice, your little voice, is louder than your immense voice, then more or less your results are gonna stay the same. So this is me. See you guys next time.